4 million people quit their jobs in August. Like everybody thought, oh, everyone's going to go back to work. We're opening up. We're going back to work. People don't want to go back to work. There's a lot of reasons, some of which are, you know, they were making $15 an hour with unemployment benefits. They were making more with unemployment than they were working. And they're like, a lot of people are like, I don't want to go back to some crappy job. So they're trying something else. They're trying to be entrepreneurs and start their own business or whatever. They're like, I don't want to go back and work in some shitty job for shitty wages. And you're seeing like McDonald's is like raising, like you can work here for $20 an hour. I heard Max Kaiser was talking about this. A McDonald's near him, they're saying $21 an hour. McDonald's, which was fighting against the increase in the minimum wage. So, you know, that's where labor has the power. McDonald's should unionize, but walk off the job. There were strikes. We talked about the strikes. Some certain McDonald's locations were going on strike. What if every McDonald's went on strike worldwide? You know? And people are just like, done. I don't want to do these crappy jobs. That's what it's going to take. I don't think it's going to take electoral politics. I just don't see it happening unless like the People's Party or other independent and third party candidates really start getting elected. That could help. But the stranglehold of these two political parties is so bad. And Americans have been so duped into thinking that this party is better than that party. If we can just get that person out of there, then we'll be like Americans, either red state or blue staters, keep drinking that Kool-Aid, keep thinking that. It's amazing to watch. You know, when Trump was in there, all the liberals were just got to get Trump out of there and then things will be better. And now all the conservatives are just like, oh, got to get Biden. And once Biden's gone, then gas will be $2 a gallon again. No, it's not. We've been printing trillions of dollars. Things are already in. Inflation is happening. We have this backup at every port in America, in the world, really, but specific to America. We have all this backup and like, I don't know when people are going to wake up to that. I just don't. I don't understand. It's not going to happen through electoral politics, and it won't. You cannot reform the Democratic Party or Republican Party from within. You just can't. It's impossible. And if you think that you can, you're deluding yourself. So, yeah. Matt S. Shave your knuckles with justice, Matt. Thank you for supporting our show. I guess what I'm hinting is a lot of folks on the left rely on government to help them, and the right does not. I'm way oversimplifying, but this is where I have problems with the left, buddy. I see that. Yeah, they are relying. Well, there's a lot of people on the right that rely on the government. They just don't admit it or realize it. Everybody has to rely on the government a little bit. A lot of stimulus money went into red states. So if that's what you're hinting at as but what is my question is back at you then, the libertarian, and again, we're oversimplifying here, the libertarian mentality of no government intervention, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. How do you do that if there's not a lot of good jobs? I mean, is the white collar conservative worker who lost their job going to go to McDonald's? Are they going to do that? Maybe some will, maybe some won't. But I mean, part of the reason we have a looming eviction and foreclosure crisis is because the government didn't give us enough money during a pandemic. I talked about this numerous times. You're going to shut down the economy. You're going to say no one can work. Everyone's got to stay home because we have a once in 100-year pandemic. And then we're going to give you some unemployment benefits, make it really hard to get, some stimulus and all this stuff, but it's not enough. We didn't just pay people's rent, which is what the government should have done. We didn't just because we have a for-profit healthcare system, we didn't make testing for COVID. This is the thing that's rarely talked about. Everyone wants to argue about the vaccine. But if we had free, readily available testing, like they have in all these European countries that have gotten through it, one of the things they've done, and some people say, yeah, they don't have mandates in that country because they're not fascist like America. Well, they were able to not have vaccine mandates because they said, okay, you have to prove a negative test, but tests are readily available. You want to get a test in America right now? It's going to cost you money, at least 40, 50 bucks. There's not a lot of free testing. In these European countries, they had testing like any store. You could just buy a 20, 30 teachers were given all these tests. That's how they were able to open the schools. The teachers were able to test themselves and the students, with tests that didn't involve like sticking a pipe cleaner up your nose. So again, that's the failure of capitalism. For-profit healthcare, testing should have been free and you could get tests anywhere. Right now, you should be able to just walk to the nearest anywhere, get a free test, have the results. I'm negative. Great. You can come in the store. You can get on the plane. You can go into the nightclub. You can go to the restaurant. We're good. We're good. I have no problem with that. But we don't have that kind of access to testing. So if you really want to have no government, people rely on the government. The left relies on the government. And yes, you admitted to that being an oversimplification. Do you not call the police? Do you not call the fire department? Do you not have street cleaning? That's relying on the government. Do you collect your own trash? You don't pay for trash collection. You take it down to the dump. You clean your own streets. You maintain your own parks. Do you maintain your own parks? Do you fund your own library? No. So we all rely on the government every day. Do you pave your own streets? Do you fix the red lights when they go out at the stop signs, at the stoplights? You fix those? Somebody knocks down a stop sign. Do you just come fix it yourself because you don't want to pay taxes and libertarians take care of themselves and pull themselves up with their bootstraps? I'm not trying to be a dick. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a good discussion. I think you can argue those saying fuck it to low wages and becoming entrepreneurs is the American capitalist spirit. Good point. But they're going to have to, and you can have entrepreneurism if we had free healthcare. We don't have free healthcare. We should have had free healthcare in the middle of a pandemic. We didn't. If you get COVID right now, and this is anybody who especially doesn't want to get vaccinated. Okay, cool. If you get COVID and are hospitalized, it is on average $75,000 during a pandemic. We should have been given free healthcare. We weren't. They were never going to give it to us. Neither party. Not Trump didn't. He could have. Executive order. Trump and Biden, each one of them could have gone by executive order. We're in the middle of a crisis. Sign it. Free healthcare. Nope. You're having a hard time paying your bills because your job got shut down because of the pandemic, and you also have a government-backed student loan. Student debt forgiveness. Don't have to pay that. Yeah. There are free tests in the US at clinics and some pharmacies, but it's not enough. Yeah, there should be a free test on every street corner, but there isn't. Matt S. Boom. Thank you for supporting us, my friend. This is a great discussion. I believe what's happening with strikes and refusing to accept low-paying jobs is good. It's an example of the free market working. My concern is the refusal to work is prompted by government-subsidized financial assists. Well, first of all, unemployment has run out, and people wanting assistance over minimum wage jobs is, again, that problem shouldn't be fixed at the stop giving federal assistance. Minimum wage was set up by FDR to give, literally his quote is like high school. I'm paraphrasing, but it was set up for high school kids to get a job to transition to learn what it's like to get in the workforce. It was a minimum wage, so you couldn't exploit child labor. Because we've shipped out all the manufacturing jobs, thank you to the neoliberal globalists and all of the corporations that shipped away good manufacturing jobs, which helped build the middle class in America. You could have a good job without a college degree. You could get a good job at a factory, work your way up. It was a union. You had health benefits. You had a pension. You could raise your family up in class and work. I mean, like Detroit is a prime example of this, right? And it's other cities like that, manufacturing cities, Cleveland, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philly, all these manufacturing hubs that then those jobs got shipped out because the corporate owners wanted to make more profits. Their greed decimated the American worker and the middle class. Right? So what it shows is the failure of capitalism, that there are not enough good paying jobs. It was just free market, right? But that's the myth that that Wall Street and the CEOs tell us. Well, I mean, you want this shirt to cost $100 and $200. That's what would happen if we paid union wages. That's what it would happen if you didn't cut your bloated CEO salary. The average CEO in America makes just under $17 million a year. We could get that number down to like $1,700,000, which is still fantastic wages. You're living in just absolute opulence. Even 500 grand a year is you can really have a comfortable life. You can have a nice car, a nice house. You can go on nice vacations. You're never going to go hungry. You can always have nice shoes. And your employees can also have good wages. But if you want to make 17 million, you got to pay your employees slave wages. Good discussion, my friend. There is no anything can happen tonight. We will do that next week. Melissa H., shave your knuckles for justice. People who work for minimum wage and only get 40 hours a week are already on government assistance. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people making a full-time wage. There is not one single state in America where if you work 40 hours a week at minimum wage, you can afford the cost of living there. Not one. Not one. Those people need government assistance, some of them. It's not that they're lazy. It's not that they don't want to work. It's that the system is so broken that minimum wage, they can't afford a one-bedroom apartment on minimum wage. So then they need government assistance. And the conservatives or whatever, libertarians say, those lefties want government assistance. No, those lefties are just working class people that have jobs and it's not enough to pay the bills. They have to get food stamps because their minimum wage job can't afford to feed a family. Because minimum wage was never designed to feed a family. It was for high school kids. That's the problem. Mad ass again, ba-boom. You always entertain my thoughts on contrary points of view. Always appreciate it. I thank you. And dude, I always say this to you. You don't come in with a combative, fighty, Graham, you freaking all caps, screaming, I'm stupid, I disagree. You bring up a different point of view in a very constructive way so that we can have a really good discussion or even debate. And that, I appreciate that. And I always say, mad ass, look to how he constructs his questions. Those of you go in the chat and say crazy bullshit, you get blocked. And, that's that. Goodbye. So I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it because you helped me articulate my thoughts. And we all get to see the importance of workers owning the means of production. And socialism, and even democratic socialism, does not, people think that means, no free market economy. That's not the case. That was sold to us. The capitalists sold us that to equate socialism and democratic socialism with the Soviet Union. That's not what it is. But great discussion, my friend.